Hey guys, it's time for some more Tomb Raider, and it's time for, having had one in a long while, me having to re-record a couple of episodes in a blind playthrough, which means the next hour or so is not going to be blind, unfortunately. Which is a real shame, because there were a lot of interesting reactions to upcoming events that I thought I would have liked to preserve, but there were a couple of issues in my recording. My allergies got super bad when I was recording last time. I might be a bit sniffly today as well, but last time it was ridiculous. I was so stuffy and so snotty that it was awful. Furthermore, my microphone picked up some weird high-pitch whining noise, which really distracted during more quiet scenes. I couldn't get rid of it from the audio. Might have something to do with how my USBs are set up for my various peripheries, so I've tried to switch around the order today. Hopefully there won't be any weird background noises today. So, apologies that this is how things had to go, but yeah. I will try and comment on... I'll try to give interesting commentary on the various things we run across in the next hour. Like my feelings my first time and feelings going through again. Because there was a lot of interesting events to do here. We're set up with all of our various tricks and traps, so let's go. Jonah's been mortally wounded. Which means we need to make Trinity pay. Howdy! Welcome in. There's more than enough buckshot for everybody here. Ooh. Let's reload the thing. I was almost out. Yeah, we want to keep the shotgun while we're indoors. I'm fine. Look at me. I just tagged that grenade. Oh dear. I find this action scene interesting because even though, you know, I'm going to say Jacob. Jonah's almost dead, and, like, that would be reason for us to have a big, like, rampage to get revenge. We're still kind of, you know, we're not, like, superheroing here. We're still getting our asses handed to us. Oh, goodness, I've never seen that before, the shotgun finisher. That was savage. I think that was a little bit more savage than the rifle one, too, because that was, like, execution style.
We have visual on the target. I repeat, we have visual on the target.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's the skulls again. I mean, I keep making jokes about them being the skulls, but these, like, white commando cap-wearing dudes really do seem to be some sort of elite unit compared to the regular Trinity guys. For example, thank goodness there was a cutscene, or I would have been in real trouble trying to beat those three guys in the position I was. So this is actually the final battle of this sequence, which is kind of weird that it's already this quick, but it's also really interesting. So there's like 5 guys out there. 5 or so, and they immediately realize I'm underneath the ice, and there's not a lot of cover above there, so we need to do this. It's like a scary stealth fighter. We need to attack from these holes in the ice. Just need for a good opening. Basically, the more I take them out, the more jumpy they get, and it's a lot harder to get the jump on them. But oh, whoopsies! They found me. But yeah, this is a really... I find the idea of like us like jumping out of these ice holes and taking out a guy or two and then... And then like returning back to the ice is a really cool mechanic. Dang, these guys are just... These guys are good. They've got eyes on all of the ice holes. Perhaps, yeah, I've been able to lure them away from the...
Let's do a sweep. Alright, this is the spot.
Let's see if I could stealth someone.
You and me!
You and me what? Huh? And back into the ice we go! See? There's like still like, I don't know, 4 guys there, so me standing around and fighting could end badly. Ooh, actually, let's not risk this hole. Let's try the next one. See, I'm not sure how good their AI is. Do they actually realize to check the holes opposite of the ones I pop back down into? Because that's like the obvious hole I would try to swim to. I'm not sure how smart these guys are, but they do seem to be smart enough to start avoiding the edges of the holes once, you know, I've taken a guy or two down in for a swim. There we go. Except for this guy, he was a bit too opportunistic, that man. He was like, I bet I can get the drop on that lady before she can grab me, and then I caught her by the ankle. Oh, no. There's still like 4 guys there. Okay, see, the guy was like, stay away from the openings, because now they're wising up to my tactics. Oh, how did she notice me? Oh well, we'll just do that and get back in the hole. Okay, so this is bad. So I'm kind of out of my invulnerability tricks, unless I manage to get a stealth kill, which is unlikely, so we have to really play this by the ear now. Oh. Dang. Shit, that was bad. Thought his back was onto me. Fortunately, our regen even happens underwater, and we got plenty of time to swim around here and heal up, so while we go from hole to hole, so it's not a big deal. Now, are they smart enough to be like, okay, well, I bet she's gonna go for that hole next because it's like the opposite hole. Kind of looks like it. That guy was sneaking this way. You know, I find this a really cool... I find this like a really cool idea for an action scene, I have to say. Like an overwhelming force of like 6 dudes and us having to kind of pop around in these holes, use the environment to our advantage. It's a really cool idea for an action scene. Oh, I think I got at least one guy, the guy who I managed to hit with the grenade. How are these guys so smart? It's like they have a 6th sense. It's like they're using parasites or something. No, not that. No, that thing. Come on, I want to pick up the canister. Oh, that's the last guy. Okay. You and me, Skull. You want a machete me? Pickaxe beats machete every time.
That was the last of them. Got to get back to Jonah.
And we're done. Yeah, I thought that was really cool, that fight against the skulls. Alright, Jonah. Gonna do something about this.
Oh God, no. Jonah.
Laura.
I'm here.
Laura. Listen to me.
Try not to move.
If I don't make it out of here...
Don't talk like that.
No, just listen. You can't blame yourself anymore. We all make our own choices.
And... yeah.
His end is near.
No, he can't die.
We can help him.
How?
We must get him to the observatory, to Jacob.
Sure hope that doesn't involve a mini-game of me dragging around this half-dead man up the mountains. Nah, we get a cutscene jump. The game's nice like that. You know, as much as I gave grief in the couple of last episodes about Jonah's, like, his plot being handled a bit weakly in this game, him just showing up just to then immediately be kidnapped and set up as a person to die so that we'd have drama and stuff.
Jacob can save Jonah now.
If he actually would die, I would feel super bad. That's how easy I am to manipulate. Like, Jonah's such a cool character. It would suck so much if he actually did die here. I mean, we don't know, do we? Actually, yeah, he could still die, I suppose. There we go. We didn't have to do a weird mini game of carrying Jonah around.
dying.
Or, like, escorting these guys.
Let me attend to him.
I don't see how bathing salts are gonna help
The Lord
here.
is your guardian, your protective shade at your right hand. The sun shall not harm you by day, nor moon by night. The Lord guard your soul. The Lord guard your going and coming, from now to all time.
Oh, well, okay then. That's some strong bath salts.
Keep pressure on the wound. Prepare him.
Jacob, you were shot. You are him, aren't you?
Here we go, guys.
The deathless prophet.
Yeah, he was pretty busted up himself, wasn't he? That was a quick recovery this Jacob character did.
I can feel pain. I can be hurt. I am human. Save for a human ending.
And the divine source?
Something I found long ago. It is real and deeply powerful. But it is not divine.
So you've lied to them for generations.
I mean,
Proud of it.
it's not really a lie. It's still a supernatural artifact,
Protect them.
which seems to give incredible
I once used the
healing
source to
powers.
give my armies their long lives. But it was a terrible mistake.
The ones I saw in the archive.
When enemies attacked Katesh, the Deathless Ones brought the ice from the mountain down upon the city. Thousands were killed. But they committed an atrocity to keep the power. And so will Trinity. But on a much larger scale.
That's not you. The man I've come to know would never harm his people.
Don't you see? All of this is my doing. And it must finally come to an end.
Father! They're on the move.
They're going to brute force their way into the ice.
Then we've already lost. No. There has to be a way to stop them. Jacob, the map showed a secret entrance into the city.
Path of the Deathless. But it's too dangerous.
We're running out of time. You know I can't give up now.
If we can delay Trinity, that might just give us a chance.
I will take our forces and attack them on the ice.
Then it's time. Open the path.
And where was this secret route? Right beneath our feet! We could have gone there any time if we just figured out how to open this secret
When you're
passage.
ready, the entrance lies beneath the observatory. I will do what I can for your friend.
Now, before we make our trek, I know it's like implying that we have to like hurry and stuff to stop Trinity. There is that cavern that leads to the flooded archives with the broadhead arrow wall that we can climb, and it would be remiss of me not to inspect it. Oh, look at all this stuff we could do. I think I'm trying to remember what I did when I first recorded this. I think I powered up the compound bow. There we go. Now it's got a weird stick coming out of it. Cool. I don't know how bows work, so don't ask me about what that stabilizer does exactly. Truth be told, this broadhead arrow thing is just as disappointing as the well, not quite, but almost as disappointing as that cave in the copper mine that I had to blow open. It's really for like a couple of pieces of treasure, one of which I think I could have gotten without using the arrows if I just explored the flooded archives more thoroughly. But let's take care of it just so that we don't have a nagging feeling of, oh, there's treasure left back there. Oh no. And in the way we can talk about the big revelations there. For example, my suspicions were finally acknowledged with Jacob revealed to be the prophet. But I was impressed the first time and impressed the second time at how muted that scene was. I was expecting like a big hoopla to be made out of it. A big reveal at some point where it comes out that he's the prophet. That was actually like a really like somber moment in a way. It was... I thought it was interesting in that way that we just kind of silently accused him and then we got a little bit of backstory about it. Pretty interestingly handled. There's also a bunch of interesting questions raised here about how the divine source works now. For the record, when I recorded the first time, I did not play long enough to get to Kitej or to really find out what the divine source exactly is. I played enough to meet the Deathless Ones and kind of get an idea of how they work. We should see that by the end of these 2 episodes. But I don't exactly know everything about the divine source, so this speculation right now is still speculation, basically, on my part. You know, that's the big question, is the Deathless Ones come off as a bit of, like, weird zombie things or whatever. Or do they? I suppose we'll see later on. While Jacob is just Jacob and he's a rational person, right? So the question is, what is different that Jacob is still a human being, albeit for his immortality, while the Deathless Ones become some sort of weird zombie-ish psycho people. Of course, my first time, my speculation was simply that maybe Jacob just has some sort of like strength of character, like a willpower to resist the corruption that might be inherent to the divine source. Here we are. Hence why he manages to remain a human being despite being influenced by this mysterious artifact, while the Deathless Ones could not handle the power and were corrupted into freaky zombie things. But having reheard that dialogue a second ago with Lara and Jacob, yeah, there's nothing down here. It's just the bottom of a hole. You can climb down there, but there's nothing to find, so we'll just carry on. Having reheard that story from Jacob a second ago, I noticed that one detail which he said was that it was the Deathless Ones who buried the city underneath the glacier when the Mongols were attacking. And he said it was to protect the divine source. And what that makes me guess now, makes me make a more educated guess having thought this further, is that the divine source's existence allows Jacob and the Deathless Ones to be immortal. What I mean by that is, had the Mongols succeeded in destroying the divine source, they would lose their immortality. And basically the Deathless Ones were just like so lusting for their immortality and their power that against Jacob's wishes they did anything to protect. Like he said, they committed atrocities to protect the power. I mean, I can imagine, and here's, I believe this is the one reason why we came here. It's just this one mural that you can't reach. You can't reach from the other side of the archive, so... Yeah, great. Really feels great.
These buildings would rival anything in the Empire.
Well, it's better than that cave with the debris, because all I found was a bunch of coins down there. Hey, we have now level 7 Greek. That's great. That's pretty high skill in Greek. Kalimera and all that. So So like Jacob, I can imagine back in the day when he was the prophet and he was called like Jacobus or something like that, I assume. I can imagine the Mongols coming and him just being like, no, they are going to overpower us despite our, you know, there's so many of them, they're gonna take our place despite our immortality, and then they too will have the power of the divine source. We need to destroy the divine source at the cost of our own immortality and to protect our people and whatnot. And here we are back at the place where the Deathless Ones actually showed up. This opened up the way here. And we find a document here which I think you could have reached anyway, like climbing up from here, I think. So this was just something I overlooked during my first travails in this area. But yeah, so Jacob would probably have been like, no, we need to destroy the divine source to save the world from the Mongols, basically. And then the Deathless Ones, the other ones being like, no, we need to protect this power. We are willing to kill innocents and crush the city and do horrible things for that power.
The Church in the West has sent their messengers, self-proclaimed soldiers of God, the Knights of the Order of Trinity. They have come to silence the Prophet, to quell his blasphemy and eradicate our movement. But it is too late now. We will not be silenced. Violence erupts in the Forum on a daily basis. The Prophet knows that we cannot stand against them, so we must leave Constantinople. We will go to the desert to build anew and continue the Prophet's work.
You know, this line really makes me laugh. Like, violence erupts in the Forum on a daily basis. I'm not dumb, guys. I know what Forum means in the classical Greek-Roman sense. I know what Forum means in that, but this line is still really funny. Like, well, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Violence in forums daily. Of course, I suppose that's going the way of the dinosaur, since I'm told that social media is killing forums. I guess so. I haven't really talked on a message board in years, really. But then again, I haven't really talked to anybody online in years. Anyone that's not like, a close friend or family member. But that's just me. I suppose most people are talking on message boards, but not forums. Let's get one more treasure while we're here, now that we're here, just for the sake of it. So we don't have to... We're not gonna come back here ever again, I suppose, so we might as well make that little trek. Yeah, so that's my new theory on the divine source. I mean, I have to also think about it in, like, story terms. I would not want to write the story to be that there is a source of immortality that just is a permanent source of immortality. Like, for story purposes, there would have to be a way to shut that immortality off, because then, like, it'd be like, well, how do we make any sequels? How do we make any sequels if no one can... If there's a source of immortality in the plot? Star Trek Into Darkness, for example, which they made a sequel to by ignoring the whole coming back to life juice thing. So in that sense, it would make sense that, like, the immortality can be shut off by destroying the divine source. That would be a really easy, like, plot point in terms of making the plot, like, so there's something at stake, but that it's not impossible to stop the immortals. So this place was burning, and it's still a raging inferno, but it kind of looks like you can time your way through, because these flames flicker and flame. Actually, you can I'm pretty sure you can just run through, which is kind of embarrassing. Can you run in the middle? Yeah, your guess is as good as mine, guys. For a game with a budget like this, I find the fact that there's these random flames here that do nothing is kind of embarrassing. So we missed out on one map. There we go. Which reveals that there's one treasure right over this way. Okay, then. I feel good about that happening. No, I don't. What did I do wrong this time? Why is the wire spool so finicky sometimes? Well, I guess it adds some gameplay element there that you have to kind of time it. So it's not just a simple press of the E button. Maybe that's why we survived these flames. We just were drenched in that water, so... See, there's a wire spool thingy right there. Yep. Maybe you have to have it on a screen for Lara to realize that's what you need to grapple. Oh, and there's a wall here. Hold on. There. But coming to this side doesn't help because the treasure's over here. Whoopsie. Oops. I forgot that this trap was here. I jumped over it the first time, I swear.
The standard of the Prophet's army. This would have been mounted above a flag and carried by a standard bearer.
Cool, thank you. That's very neat. I like that treasure. There's still one document in this area, but I can't be bothered to hunt for that one, so we are just gonna now head on with the main plot to the Path of the Deathless, as we discussed. Unless, of course, this one document is the one that explains the whole like situation with Jacob and the Deathless Ones, what their differences are. Like, if that's the one exposition thing which would explain the differences with the thing behind the divine source. Ah well. C'est la vie. We'll just do our rampant speculations, because it seems to have worked out so far in this paper-thin plot. Oh, that's a cool tip. Enemies will find you if you keep hiding in a spot. I guess, yeah. Not a big revelation. You know, I didn't come up here before. Is there any treasure in this area? Just out of curiosity. That was a weird lighting effect. It doesn't seem like it. There's just one salvage box. I'll just salvage that. Oh, I should make some of my patented exploding arrows on the way. There we go. Don't know why I keep having the burning arrow as my default. The exploding arrows really is the hypest one. So now we begin our crazy good fun time adventure on the Path of the Deathless. The Orrery. That's a fancy word for a planetarium. Honestly, I don't know. Orrery sounds less fancy than the word planetarium, so maybe I don't know. In any case, it means a planetarium. For those of you who are like, orrery, what is that? For some reason, my first inkling when I hear orrery is like a hatchery. I don't know why. I don't know why I made that connection, but I really love this mechanic. I kind of wish that this broadhead arrow was an item we'd have gotten earlier in the game, so we could have more puzzles involving it. Like, I'm happy with the wire spool coming as late as it did. That's not a very exciting, tool to have a Indiana Jones whip swinging thing. But building your own like ladders and your own like bridges, I think is a ton of fun. Oh, I don't know what the purpose. Is there something up there? Hold on. I'll just check real quickly. There's something up. There's like a bridge up there, but is there anything to find up there? Oh, yes, there is. There's a backpack. I think I missed this on my first go. Oh, there's one cache ahead and to the right. Okie dokie then. The Solemn Crevasse. Yep. Hey, come on. Let's do some more mining. Yay. We got some chromite.
I just have to catch my breath for a moment. This place, Katesh, Jacob, the Deathless Ones. I've been running so fast for so long, I haven't stopped to acknowledge the simple fact that all of this is real. A part of me can't believe it. But I know Jacob was telling the truth. Whatever made him is here, and I'm going to find it before Trinity. I only wish Dad was alive to share in this discovery.
Again with Dad. I thought we were supposed to let that go by now. Oh well. You know, even if I'm wrong with my speculation, my newfound speculation that, no, we came that way. What am I doing? That destroying the divine source will shut off the immortality on the various bad guys. Even if, like, it is irreversible, I mean, it doesn't make them superhuman, their abilities, apart from their healing and whatnot. So even if Anna and or Constantine managed to become immortal, it's not like we couldn't come up with a fate worse than death for them, like, well, dropping a mountain on top of them, burying them alive, and then they'd be stuck forever down there, which is a horrifying idea, but if that's the way you want to go, then that's what we gotta do.
Amazing.
Not the word I'd use, because look at all these scary spears here. I'm a bit alarmed, but...
Jacob, I'm heading in.